Hi, I'm Grace Lynch. Welcome to my channel. This this is a little video for myself to talk about the intersection between that I find between aphasia and autism. Um, so, be, um, it's been very difficult for me to grapple with uh, the nature of neurodiversity, the way the world presents it to me, because there's existing sort of thinking around autism and ADHD and uh, certain mental things and PTSD and stuff, but I don't hear a lot about experiences of people who have lost language. Um, and I feel like I've tried to, when things sync back up after I went through brain rehab, only for about a month in Oregon in 2015, when I could sort of sync language back up again, I could sort of take how I experienced the world and find words for it that I could understand, that the world could understand. I think I felt like I was basically back, and um, and that just isn't so. Um, I find when I interact with people, very often there's I don't know, there's sort of social norms that people take for granted that I don't understand. Um, and it doesn't make it easy. That it's very difficult for me to relate to someone who can't process the way I do. And it's difficult for me to understand when someone else doesn't understand why I can't process the way they do. Um, so this has been a kind of a pattern that's happened to me since I got back here and off the streets in an apartment and trying to build a life. I have sort of a way of understanding my situation, trying to fit back into society, and um, and I keep having these experiences where things go colossally bad, and I try to process what happened. I try to understand it because it, in the moment, it makes me feel like I can't trust my understanding of a situation or relationship. Um, and I don't have a lot of confidence that if I don't have a working understanding of conflicts that happened in the past, that I'll be able to take care of myself in the future. So that makes it very, very difficult. So this last time that it happened, I sort of have shut down, and and I'm trying to work through um, the whole thing because um, when a conflict happens that blindsides me, I don't trust the relationship anymore. I don't trust my understanding of the relationship anymore. I don't know how to interact with someone once the thing shifts. I won't know what's safe to talk about anymore. Um, yeah. So I'm really struggling with that. It's a time of being really isolated tonight, and yeah, I really struggle with that. Not sure what I'm going to do. Um, I know uh, more and more I've been diving into how hard it was to lose words and then to live in a world where um, that had happened to me, where I had woken up from a nap and I didn't know what words were, and I slowly realized that there was something missing, and I didn't know what it was. And then even as words came back, sort of, I didn't trust that again because I didn't understand uh, that I had lost them. And when I sort of pieced it together, I didn't know why. And it was very difficult to live for the rest of my life in a world where something like that could happen with no explanation why. I didn't have any understanding for the next, it was 30 years, uh, that for reasons unknown, I could be going along and all of a sudden what words were could be gone. And I wouldn't know what things were anymore, and I didn't know what the meaning was, and I couldn't decide what was real or not real, or if I was alive or not alive, and then that became a working part of my mind. I'm not sure it's a great working part of my mind, but once it became part of my sense of what the world was, that the ability to decide the meaning of my experience and express it in a way that I could be understood was gone, or that I could lose that, or I couldn't trust where it came from or what it was based on, because I didn't understand the whole thing. It made for a scary experience of the world and everything in it, and my life and everything in it, for the rest of my life. So part of what I live with now is that part of me feels like I'm back and I'm learning how to be part of the world. But part of me, when conflict happens, that part of me that I never knew really well how to take care of, it's something that it gets activated and I don't know how to sort it out. Everything becomes unmoored when there's a way of relating to the world that I trusted that's gone in a conflict or a misunderstanding, whatever it is. And then it's not only the stress of the conflict, but whatever that is activates. And I find that part of me, I need to take whatever that is and look at the situation from the experience of no language, because those feelings arise in me anyway. It isn't just the usual experiences that happen in a conflict that activated me, and the thoughts and difficult beliefs and sensations. That part of me that had to look at the world without being able to assign words and feel what that felt like. Not being able to track out my relationship with my circumstance. That part comes right to the forefront. And all of those feelings become active in a way that I don't know what to do with them. I don't know how to moderate them or mediate them. So it seems like this phase of my recovery, and it's been so slow these few years, it feels like I wish very much that I could just snap back to things the way other people do, that I could cognate the way that they do. But I don't have anything to do with how a conflict that usually ends up, it happened in language, affects the part of me that works outside of language, the part of me that lost language. I suppose my fear is that if I don't understand the conflict, what I feel is that somehow the extreme feelings that I experienced was part of why I lost language. And whether or not that's logically true, it still feels like a menace, that if I don't have a way to take care of my understanding in the present, I'm not going to have a way to take care of the wordless part of me, the part of me that never found its way back. I don't know how I would express that to somebody else. I don't know how I would relate that to somebody else, to have that be a part of one's mind. I feel like I live in a world of people that take for granted that words and meaning and shared understanding will always be part of their consciousness and the consciousness of all the people around them. And for me to have an experience of the world where that can just be gone in a way that I'm powerless to preserve, that creates a different sensibility of what the world is and how to keep myself safe in it. And I'm still figuring it out. So I guess I just wanted to say a thing about struggling with the intersection of my experience of my autism and my experience of aphasia, because they work together in a way that I'm still struggling to understand and work out how to live with in recovering from brain rehab. That's all. Have a nice one.